I would say the most memorable, there have been many very memorable. The one that sticks out most for me was we as a company were entrusted with a collection of cars from a family. They had to sell their collection in order to pay for medical care for their son. And there were some roadblocks, along the way, some logistical issues, some very challenging and trying times. And not just from a standpoint of their family and the auction company, but through circumstances. It was even challenging for the buyers at our auction because we had to ask them to be very patient, to wait until a time to when those cars could be sold. There was actually a gap in the auction, which is generally unheard of. And I was amazed at how well people came together, and I think partly because word had gotten out why the collection was there and what had happened, but to see people come together the way they did at that auction, and like I said, the gap in the sale was over an hour. It's unheard of, absolutely unheard of. I had big concern for the well-being of the result and how that would affect, and I remember each car through that collection that had been in the family, the grandfather passed down through now to the son, and now being passed on to take care of the young son. And when that ended, they were the last group of cars for the auction, and when that ended and the hammer fell on the very last car, for me that was probably the most personally fulfilling moment I've had in the auction business, because without that it was public knowledge, I had a very deep understanding of why that family had to sell those cars, what they had to go through, and a little bit of an idea about what they were about to go through. And it was hugely gratifying for me to be in a position where I was part of a business that could do that for that family. Without a doubt, the most memorable thing for me.